back to my channel. So today we are going to do a TBR for the Disney Readathon. So let's get into it. Okay, so I know that I said that I wasn't going to do TBRs because I don't do TBRs and like it's not my thing, but I really want to do this readathon because I love Disney and I love the Little Mermaid, and there's a Little Mermaid team this round, and so I have to participate. But that also means I have to make a TBR. So I'm scared. But I also have the entire month to read. I think it's 4 books. So hopefully that means that it's going to be achieved. We will see. The first part of my TBR is going to be all of the group books. So there's 4 teams. There's the Little Mermaid, Hercules, Beauty and the Beast, and the Princess and the Frog, and I am in Team The Little Mermaid, and I am super excited because Ariel is my favorite Disney princess. I absolutely love her. She is, I don't know, I just really liked her when I was growing up. I would rewatch the movie a million times, and I've watched it a million times, and I own several editions of it, so I'm super excited for that. And the book, the group book for the Little Mermaid. There's actually 3 of them. I have 2, so I'm going to try to read both of them. One of which I should have read in July, but I didn't. So the actual group book is The Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow, and it is obviously a mermaid story about 2 black mermaids, and I don't really know much about it. But I picked it up because 1, you know me, you know I'm a sucker for mermaid stories, but 2, because this cover was beautiful. So I'm actually super excited that this is our group book because it means that I absolutely have to read it this month. So I am very excited for this one. And then the other group book is The Mermaid, the Witch in the Sea. I was going to read this one for the 4 Nations Readathon that I did in July because it has a ship in the cover, but I ended up reading The Voyage of the Dawn Treader instead, so that means that I get to read it now. And this is by Maggie Tokuda Hall, and it is a story about I do believe she's the mermaid. So it's about 2 people, one of which is a mermaid, the other one is a witch. I can't remember which one is which, and the synopsis is not helping me. But Flora basically is presenting as a man because she is a pirate captain named Florian, and Florian is tasked with transporting this highborn woman to an arranged marriage, and it's, you know, the story of them falling in love and all this stuff. So I'm very excited to read this one as well. So these are the first 2 books. And then the group book for Hercules is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I have not read this one, but it is on my TBR shelf. I actually pulled a couple of books so if there's spaces in my TBR shelves because I pulled the books for this video. I'm actually super excited to read this because it's been on my TBR for a minute. I have heard really good things about it, and I know that The Muse of Nightmares, which is I don't know if it's the second one in the duology or if it's just the second book in a series, is also really good. So I'm very excited to pick this one up to read for the group book for Team Hercules. So the next group book is for Beauty and the Beast, and that, surprise is A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I have not read it. It's been on my many a TBR cards for me to read it, and I actually have both A Curse So Dark and Lonely and A Heart So Fierce and Broken because one of my prompts is to read the group book for a different group, so I'm actually going to try to read both of these, one for the Beauty and the Beast group book and the other one for my King Triton prompt. So I'll get a little bit more into it in a little while. And the last one is for the Princess and the Frog team, and that is An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. This is obviously a used library copy that I purchased, and I'm actually really excited to read this series. I have the first book and I have the 3rd book. I haven't been able to find the second book in a hardcover in like a decent price. So I'm still I'm waiting to see if I'll be able to actually finish the series this year, because I've heard so many amazing things, and I believe the fourth book is either coming out soon or just came out. I'm very excited to pick this one up. Now, for the prompt, for the Little Mermaid team, we have the first prompt area, which is read a book with a singer main character, and I have two options for that. So my original pick was The Vanished Bird by Simon Jimenez, which is a Latinx inspired, based with Latinx characters. I don't really know. Sci-fi, which is not wildly seen. I am trying to get a little bit more into sci-fi, and I feel like this is going to be a great... I actually have 2 sci-fi books in this TBR, so I'm really excited about that. But in this book, Nia meets this boy who doesn't speak, but he communicates through song. But it's actually a flute that he plays. I didn't really think that I had a singer main character book, so I decided to pick this one up because I'm very interested in it. But then I saw some other TBRs and I realized that I do have I'll Be the One by Layla Lee, and the main character in this is a singer. She is interested in being a K-pop star, but is too fat to be considered, which I think is such a great story. So I might read both of them, but I'm really pumped that I actually found one with a singer and didn't have to kind of like cobble together something. So the next prompt is Flounder, and it is find a story or read a book with a friendship in it. And I decided to pick up The Antidote of Everything by Kimmery Martin, which is a story about 2 doctors that are practicing medicine in a small clinic in the South. I believe it's in Charleston, South Carolina. One of the friends is gay, and he basically is fired from his job because his practice wants them to refuse gender-affirming surgery to trans patients, and he just can't do that. So his friend Georgia, the male main character's name is Jonah, so Georgia, his best friend, decides to try to do something about it, but things go awry. And honestly, I love medical dramas. Myself, I am in the healthcare profession, so I always find it really interesting to read about doctors and nurses and their experiences in the medical field, and this is just like such a great... I've heard really great things about it. I've actually got this recommended to me by Jessie from Bow Ties and Books. They had a, what is it? I think it was bi, trans, queer book recommendation, and this is one of the books that they recommended for a book with trans characters, so I'm very excited to pick this one up. So next is Prince Eric, and that is to read a book by your favorite author. I have very many favorite authors, and most of which I've read most of their backlist. The only 3 that I have that I haven't read all of their entire backlist are Sarah J. Maas. If you want to hear my rants about A Court of Thorns and Roses, feel free to follow me on Instagram. Alice Oseman, which I am actually waiting for the pre-order of the only book of hers that I have not read. And last but not least is Brandon Sanderson. So I am going to pick up Starsight, which is the second book in the Skyward series. As I mentioned, I'm going to be reading a lot of science fiction. So this is Brandon Sanderson's sci-fi series. This is I've been putting it off, but alas, we have to get to it at one point or another. So this month we're going to be reading Starsight. I am super excited. I absolutely adore Spencer. I love this story. I am so excited to go back to reading one of my favorite characters in the entire world. I absolutely adore this series. The next prompt is Ursula, and that is read a book with a character that changes form. And I decided to reread, I'm currently rereading one of my favorite series by one of my favorite authors, Shelley Lawrenston, and she mostly writes paranormal romances. If you know anything about me, you know that I love paranormal romance. I adore paranormal romance, one of my favorite genres. The only reason there isn't more paranormal romance in this TBR is because I'm trying to get down to my physical TBR, and a lot of my physical books are fantasy, either YA or adult fantasy, so we have to get cracking into these. I have so many books that I've purchased that I just need to actually read them and either keep them because I love them so much or give them away. So we are trying to be more conscious about how many books Gabby owns. But I am rereading this book because I absolutely adore the series. So this is the Pride series by Shelley Lawrenston. This is book 7. It's called Bear Meets Girl, and it is about, this is the story of Chella and Lou, or how people lovingly call him Crush. And if you haven't read the series, this series is basically set in a world where there are shifters. Shifter society is very much separate from human society, but they still live and kind of co-inhabit with humans. The very first book in the series is actually the romance between a lion shifter and his high school crush who is a full human. So it's really cute. I really love it. I love all of the books. I actually own both the physical copies as well as the ebooks. It's one of my favorite series. I've reread them so many times. But I needed something where people shifted shapes a ton of times, and you know, this is perfect. I'm super excited to reread it. I adore these books, and they're definitely a comfort read for me. So no matter what, I know I will read this book because I love it so much. So next is Sebastian, and that is reading the group book. And as I mentioned, I'm going to try to read 2 of the books that were suggested for the group book. The actual group book, A Song Below Water, and the other option, which is The Mermaid, the Witch, and the Sea. Lastly, it's King Triton, and to complete the King Triton prompt, you have to read the group book for a different group. You don't have to change the order, you don't have to do anything, but you have to read it. So since I do not have the sequel to Ember in the Ashes or Strange the Dreamer, but I do have A Heart So Fierce and Broken, I decided to read A Curse So Dark and Lonely for the King Triton prompt, and then read A Heart So Fierce and Broken to fulfill the group book for Beauty and the Beast. So that is my plan for right now. We have 9 books that I have to read. I'm going to complete the other team's prompts if that, you know, if I have time. Otherwise, I think that 9 books is enough, especially because I'm going to be doing 2 other readathons this month. One is a week-long readathon, and then there's another one that's also a month-long readathon. So yes, I am feeling ambitious, but not too ambitious. I really just want to have a really good month of reading that is just books that I am having a really good time picking up. And I think I did a really good job because all of the books that I am deciding to read for this readathon are books that I am super pumped with. If you want more information about the Disney readathon, I will leave links in the description down below for you to read a little bit more. It is being hosted mostly on Twitter, I believe. But they also have an Instagram this round. I did a round, I want to say a few months ago, and they didn't have an Instagram, which is my main social media. I do most of my stuff on Instagram. I actually deleted the Twitter app from my phone, and I deleted the Twitter app from my laptop, so I basically only do Twitter on a browser whenever I need to go on Twitter. So I'm trying to purge Twitter out of my life. I don't like it, so I'm very excited that they are exploring other avenues for us to do readathons, or this specific readathon, so yay! But I am super excited for this. I am so excited to be in Team The Little Mermaid. I'm just so pumped. So let me know if any of you guys have read any of these books. If you have, if you've liked them, if you haven't liked them, any opinions, any books that you think are similar to the ones that I'm going to be reading. I am going to be doing a comprehensive reading vlog for all of these books. So at the end of the month, I will just put together all of the clips that I have filmed for these books and just upload them into a single vlog. So you'll be able to see all of my thoughts for these books throughout the month. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for videos or books that I should pick up, please do let me know. I am always looking for new books, as well as new things to do here on my YouTube channel. Sorry I've been missing for a couple days. I just been having some hard times, but I am filming a ton of videos today to put up for you guys, and I hope you really enjoy them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every second that you have dedicated to spending time with me. If you are so kind to please like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Otherwise, thank you so much for spending time with me. Have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.